So you've just been told you're not strategic enough. It's probably one of the most frustrating things a leader can hear, right? Well, today we're going to break down what that really means, and way more importantly, what you can actually do about it.
Yeah, hearing those words, it's a real punch to the gut, isn't it? I mean, you know you're doing the work. You're thinking about the big picture, but for whatever reason, it's just not connecting. It's not landing with the people who need to see it. So what is actually going on?
Let's take a look at a story that probably sounds familiar. Meet Jason. He's a tech exec, and he was hired specifically for his strategic brain. But then, a year in, what does the CEO tell him? You guessed it, you're not strategic enough. This, right here, is a classic example of a much, much bigger problem.
And here's the absolute kicker. Jason's problem wasn't that he lacked a strategy. No, his strategy was solid. The problem was his CEO couldn't see it. And that's the whole point of this explainer, really. If your strategy isn't seen, if it's not understood by the people who matter, well, then it might as well not even exist.
So why does this keep happening? What are these invisible walls that are blocking all that brilliant strategic work you're doing from being seen by the very people you need to see it? Okay, it really boils down to three core issues. First, let's be honest, strategy it's kind of abstract, right? It's hard to get your hands on. Second, everyone in the room has their own unique perspective, their own angle on things. And third, and this is the big one, we all feel this, the daily grind, the constant firefighting, always seems to win, pushing that long-term thinking way to the back. So let's break these down.
All right, first up, how do we tackle that abstract problem? How do we take these huge, kind of floaty ideas about the future and make them feel totally real and urgent for everyone right now?
Your first and most powerful tool, storytelling. Think about it. A good story just cuts through all the corporate jargon, all the noise. It grabs people on an emotional level, turning some complicated plan on a slide deck into a mission everyone can actually get excited about.
And this is such a perfect example. The 96 Elephants campaign, they didn't roll out a 50-slide PowerPoint. No way. They told a simple, powerful, urgent story. You immediately get the problem, 35,000 elephants killed, and you get the clear three-part solution. Stop the killing, stop the trafficking, stop the demand. It's so memorable, and man, is it effective.
Okay, tool number 2 is all about visualization. You've heard it a million times, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and when it comes to strategy, it's absolutely true. Especially when you're trying to show how all these different, complex pieces are supposed to fit together.
Amazon's flywheel is maybe the most famous example of this. Just look at how beautifully this works. You start with lower prices, that leads to a better customer experience. What does that do? It brings in more traffic. More traffic attracts more sellers. More sellers means a greater selection, and guess what? Greater selection lets you have even lower prices, and the whole thing just spins faster and faster. It takes this big, abstract idea of growth and makes it completely tangible. Every single person at Amazon can look at this and see exactly how their job helps spin that wheel.
All right, on to hurdle number 2. And this one's a tough one. So you've made your strategy concrete. Awesome. But now, how do you get everyone on the same page? How do you get sales and engineering and marketing, all with totally different priorities, to line up behind one single vision?
You know, the answer here is often way simpler than we make it out to be. You don't need to invent some new, complicated process. Your company probably already has something: OKRs, KPIs, balanced scorecards, whatever. The magic isn't the framework, it's how you use it. You've got to leverage those tools you already have to build a shared language, a common ground, so everyone can see that direct line from their goals to the company's big goals.
Really, this is all about creating what we can call sense-making opportunities. It's about helping people connect the dots for themselves. Because let's be real, everyone's first thought is, okay, great, but what does this mean for me, for my work today? So your job as the leader is to create those moments in your meetings, in your one-on-ones, where the light bulb goes off and they see how that report they're writing today connects to that huge goal way out on the horizon.
And here's a dead simple but super powerful way to do it. Just start asking this one question over and over again in every single meeting. How does this thing we're talking about support our long-term objectives? It's like a pattern interrupt. It forces everybody to stop focusing on the what and remember the why. And that right there is how you start to build that alignment.
Okay, here we are, the final hurdle. And it's the monster under the bed for most of us, the tyranny of the urgent. How on earth do you keep your eye on the strategic prize when the day-to-day is constantly screaming for your attention?
I mean, this picture says it all, right? This is the daily battle every single leader fights. You're stuck in this tug of war between the fires you have to put out right now and the future you're supposed to be building. And if we're being honest with ourselves, the urgent usually wins that fight.
So how do you fight back? You have to turn strategy into a habit, not just some event that happens once a year. That means building in time for strategic thinking every day. It means breaking down those massive long-term goals into small, achievable wins. And this is going to sound a little counterintuitive, it means actually leaning harder on your strategy when a crisis hits.
I mean, really think about it. Is there anything more strategic than a crisis? A crisis is the ultimate test, right? It forces you to make huge decisions fast, without all the information. It's your single biggest chance to show that you're not just reacting, but that you're thinking 3 moves ahead.
Airbnb is the perfect case study here. When the pandemic hit and global travel just stopped, they could have panicked, but they didn't. They pivoted. They looked at the chaos and saw the shift to remote work, to local stays, not as a death sentence, but as a massive new opportunity. Talk about strategic foresight in the middle of a storm.
So let's bring this all back. The next time you hear those words, "you're not strategic enough," try not to see it as a punch. Instead, see it as an invitation. It's an opportunity, a call to action, to make all your hard strategic work finally visible.
Because at the end of the day, that's what this all comes down to. It's not enough to be strategic. Your real job is to make that strategy seen, understood, and something people can act on, to bring it to life for everyone else. So I'll leave you with this one question. Your strategy already exists. You're already doing the work. The real question is, how are you going to make it seen?